Welcome everybody, Josh here, back at it today with a brand new YouTube video. So today we're going to be talking to you guys about the PlayStation 5 console, the Horizon Forbidden West bundle, which is the version of the console that you see behind me. As you guys know, I've been a massive fan of video games for a very long time now. I've been playing video games ever since the Sega Genesis days. I actually played the Sega Genesis because it was actually one of my friend's consoles, and then I subsequently had sort of the SNES, which was my console. I had the N64, I've had the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, the PS4, and now the PlayStation 5, and I've been desperately trying to get my hands on this console. I've been trying to fight scalpers and bots in order to kind of get my hands on the system, and so I'm going to be talking to you guys about whether or not this is worth the $549 that you guys currently see this on Amazon Prime's website. Now, in my 2 months of using this ever since September, it's now November that I'm currently sort of recording this review video slash first impressions, which I don't really know what I'm going to basically title this video just because of the fact that I am still using this console a lot. I do have a video game channel where I kind of record next generation footage, whether that's video games or sometimes I do reviews on that channel occasionally as well. But for this main channel, I mostly do my video game and movie stuff, and I kind of intermix between the two just because of the fact that they are sort of what I'm passionate about. I really like talking about movies and video games and stuff like that. So with my given history, I felt like this is the best place to do that. And seeing as though I just got this console, I want to have a little bit of time to actually kind of review it. I know that my review is probably a little bit late, but unfortunately because of sort of the limited stock of consoles when they first released and the fact that I wasn't able to get one at launch, now is the time that you're kind of seeing this review. And do I really like my PlayStation 5 console? Yes, I do, and there's a variety of different reasons for that. It's quickly become sort of the console that I use all the time. When I'm at my place, I got sort of my system set up and I'm recording gameplay for my gaming channel. It fits within sort of the scheme that I kind of got with sort of my iMac and my MacBook Pro and stuff like that, and it's got sort of that white and black color scheme that you really do sort of see on sort of the system. Now you can upgrade sort of the fins on the side of that to make them either black or red or whatever color that you want, which I know that was something that you couldn't really do originally when the consoles first came out, because Sony was trying to kind of get their own console manufacturers to kind of make those as separate accessories for their system. You got a really cool PlayStation 5 controller here, which is a different design to what you see with the DualShock 3 or the DualShock 4, which I really do like the DualShock 4. I think it's a really great console controller for the PlayStation 4 and what they did with it at the time. But this had the haptic feedback, which I wish I had some actual footage of me playing Uncharted 4 when I first got it, because with the haptic feedback, when you're playing a video game and stuff like that, it feels like you are actually in the scenario that you're playing the video games in. It's not just the rumble feature that, you know, you get with sort of the PS4 and the PS3 controller. It is the fact that there's also some sort of mechanism that allows you to kind of experience what it'd be like to kind of pull the trigger of a weapon when you're playing this game, or, you know, if you're playing a video game where it's a racing game or a racing simulator, you're gonna feel like you're actually driving the car when you're playing it. It's a really weird experience. And when I was playing Uncharted 4, is the very first sequence with the boats and stuff like that. Now, I played that sequence a lot, especially over the thing that shall not be named, just because of the fact that I had nothing better to do than play Uncharted. When I experienced it for the first time with the haptic feedback on sort of the PlayStation 5, I jumped out of my seat. It was one of those situations where I was like, I wasn't really prepared for it, and I hadn't really done any research just because of the fact that I went going kind of blind with sort of my opinions and my thoughts on the PlayStation 5 itself. And I really do enjoy this thing. I really do like the controller. I like the feel of it. It feels just like sort of the old controller, but it has a little bit more grip to it. You're not really like sliding off it as much when you're playing video games and stuff like that. You're not having to kind of grip the controller with, you know, bare paws and stuff like that like you normally do on a video game controller. Now, I am gonna try and get a crimson red, or I think it's a cosmic red controller, just because of the fact that I do like the red and black controller, like I said before on my controller review, just because I think it kind of fits the aesthetic, especially my gaming chair and stuff like that, with red and black being my two favorite colors that I like to wear a lot. You know, I really got this console because I wanted to play Uncharted. I wanted to test out Uncharted and some of the other video games that I really bought over the years, and I think that they would look really nice with the PlayStation 4 upgrades, because some of the games do have free upgrades. Some of the games like God of War have sort of graphical enhancements that if you play it on the PlayStation 5, it looks a little bit better. It has some more graphical settings that you can use to make sort of the 4K resolution stand out. Now, I do know that this console is 4K and 8K compatible. It does play 4K Blu-Rays, which watching movies and stuff like that I haven't really done yet, but I do like watching movies on my PlayStation 4, which you do see me using right now. It's kind of shut off. I watch movies on that all the time, and I'm looking forward to kind of testing out the 4K just to see what it looks like, just because I do have some upgraded 4K Blu-rays that I bought recently, such as, you know, Lord of the Rings, The Mummy, and Elysium, and District 9, and some of these really awesome old school movies that it will play on this console. I do have some digital movies which I have not watched yet on my PS5, and mostly leave that for my PS4 just because there's a lot of them. I don't want to get my console sort of bogged down with storage, because I would recommend you getting an external hard drive if you're planning on picking up a PlayStation 5, especially a game drive. You know, I do think Seagate makes some. You can, I do believe, use the Lacy external hard drives, which I mostly use those for recording gameplay and stuff like that and offloading footage to external hard drives, but it does allow you to have a little bit more space. There is room to kind of get sort of an internal storage SSD, but you kind of have to get the right one, otherwise you're going to ruin your system, and I just haven't done that yet, nor do I really want to risk it at the moment, just because these are relatively hard to find and I don't have a secondary PlayStation 5 that I can try this on. I have not tried out Horizon Forbidden West yet, just because of the fact that I want to get through the first game on my channel and then kind of subsequently play through the sequel after that. I did play a little bit of it and I thought the graphical enhancements of this look amazing, especially on the PlayStation 5. This won't be sort of a review for Horizon or any of the games that I mentioned in this review, but this is compatible with PS4 and PS5 games. It doesn't really have PS3 backwards compatible support, but if you get the premium membership, they do drop PS2, PS3, PS4, and PS5 games. It's just not natively on the system. With that being the case, I am a little bit disappointed by the fact that this isn't native backwards compatibility with other consoles generations, just because the fact that I still keep my PS3, my PS4, and PS5 games. It's really nice for the fact that I can play the PS4 games, just because of the fact that when I originally got my PlayStation 5 console, I didn't really have the money to kind of go out and buy new games. I did get a couple of games which you see behind me, but I can't really buy every single thing that comes out, which is a little bit disappointing because there's some really cool games that I want to check out and buy that are coming out soon, but maybe in the future I'll be able to get those. In either case, I think that the PS5 is definitely worth your time, worth your energy trying to get this. I would suggest if you're doing this on Amazon, trying to go for the request invitation route, either go with the disc, just the standard, or even the bundles, just because you have a little bit more chance of getting a console with the bundles. That's basically what I did. I followed all of the restock news and stuff like that, and then I went from there to kind of put in my request invitation. That's kind of how I was able to get one. It was a little bit tricky at first just because they didn't have that request invitation thing. You know, you weren't able to kind of get your hands on a console right away. You know, the scalper bots and sort of the resellers really did kind of ruin my experience. I've never had this trouble getting my hands on a next generation system like the PS5, but since having it and since using it for 2 months, I really do like this system, and I certainly can't complain with all the new added features on it. It does come with a stand, which you'll see sort of in my reviews. I'll intersplice sort of my unboxings and stuff. It does come with a PlayStation 5 controller and an HDMI cable, as well as all the component cables that you'll need for your TV, which is also pretty nice. So if you're wanting a system that you can easily plug and play, and you want to get sort of the disc-based version so you can collect both digital as well as disc games, I know a lot of people are moving to digital, which I don't mind, but at the same time I want that freedom and option to kind of purchase disc-based games in physical media if I want to. So that is basically why I went with the disc-based version of the system, and I happen to have that freedom of choice and that freedom to kind of collect physical games and physical media if I want to, whether that's video games or movies or Blu-rays and stuff like that, and talk to you guys about that on my channel. So this is sort of my own little first impression / review video. I don't know if I'm going to go even more in depth into the PlayStation 5 in the near future. I definitely do plan on playing more games and stuff like that on my gaming channel, which I do have, and when I'm not posting content to here, I'm posting content to there. So if you guys want to check that out as well and see me playing video games, whether that's Horizon or Uncharted or The Last of Us, which I do have The Last of Us Part 1. Haven't really played Part 2 yet, but maybe I'll do that and do a review for you guys on this channel at some point in the not so distant future if you guys want to see that. But that's kind of my opinion. I do think that this is worth $549. I think that you're getting your money's worth for entertainment in a console. I definitely think it's just as good, if not better, than the PlayStation 4. I haven't had any issues with it since having it for, 2 months now, basically. And so maybe in the future I will do sort of a 1 year or 2 year long video, which I know a lot of people tend to do with these systems. They kind of review it over time. And for my experience with owning a bunch of games already, with the fact that they do on some of these games that you've collected on PS4 give you free upgrades. I know that you have to, if you want upgrades for some of the other PS4 games, do that $10 fee, which kind of sucks, but at the same time it's like it's only $10, so I can kind of justify it a little bit because you're getting sort of that upgrade to 4K resolution, better graphics and stuff like that, which to me graphics aren't really everything. It's basically the story that kind of matters. So as long as it's a good game that's story driven, then I kind of know I'm going to replay over again. I don't mind forking over that $10 for extra graphics and story enhancements. So those are my thoughts and opinions over the PlayStation 5. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. If you guys currently have a PlayStation 5, are you looking at getting one? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.